Hello, good evening. Hello. It is High Priestess Jamila. Hello, guys. So, we have been talking a lot about obsessed people online. But what I want to talk about is crazy, obsessed family members. I wonder if this is a rarity or if it's something that doesn't often get exposed or any of y'all got obsessed family member, like an obsessed family member, maybe one or two. You can't throw away the whole family. One or two bad apples don't spoil the bunch. I just got through battling with a horrific demon for a client that comes from a spiritual family, and she has a brother that's doing a lot of work on her. He's real sick, crazy, psychotic, but knows about witchcraft. Okay, and this is something to look out for. It really is, and when it is a family member, spirit is going to let you know. Um, you know, and I got to tell you something. Spirit handles them very, very roughly. Okay. First of all, we don't call people like that family. You're not my I was sitting here and you know what, my client is real smart. I love working with her because she was just like, I know it's this person. I know it's this when I met her, when not met her, we've never met in person. But she was like, I know it's this person and I just want you to confirm it. And we confirmed it. And she was just like, I want to start doing work immediately. And it's a trip because it's a special kind of something that really means nothing, honestly. um you have to look out for the signs, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes your family members will become ultra obsessed with you. They will, and they will do you dirty. It's a trip. And nobody, the thing of it is was that nobody, the good thing about her situation is that nobody talks to this person ever. Everybody in the family pretty much casted this person out, which is a good thing because the person needs to be casted out. Okay, doing spiritual work, had got a couple of the nieces killed in the family, doing demonic black magic on family members. A man, if you don't find out about this stuff, if you don't, and this with my client, it was different though, because my client had actually been molested by her brother. And the brother ended up very, very obsessed with her life. She does come from a spiritual family, and dude was doing some pretty demonic work on her, you know what I'm saying, literally trying to ruin her life. And now his life is ruined. His life is ruined. It's as simple as a reversal candle. I mean, sometimes if you're dealing with somebody really, really crazy that, it is, he was stalking her, he was stalking her children. That's sad when your family becomes obsessed with you to the point where they, instead of doing something with their life, they just sit around for years and years and years and make themselves sick, stalking you around. That's sad, and that's exactly what this man had did. He had become obsessed with his own sister. and her children. And, I knocked them out the damn box. Men are not stronger than women spiritually just because they're men. And, my client was like, my husband acting up and I don't know what's wrong with him and da 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 da. And simple reversal sent that crap back and the husband was okay. And so her brother is going to have to be binded, and not no healing binding. No, it's a binding, okay? To where it's a doll, it's pins, it's needles, it's hanging rope. Many people have gotten their own family members killed because of the stupid games that they play. Okay. So, and I don't think nobody should, and see, this is the whole thing about it though. You know what I'm saying? When you live in a society, actually in reality, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude was wrapped up in his own little world to where he felt like he was better, he was above women. His wife was very emasculating to him constantly, and so he was taking it out on my client and her sisters and her children. And so, he got knocked out. He's knocked down for the count. Leave your sister alone. Your nieces, your nephews, leave them alone. They will go and get work done on you. Nothing is done in the dark. Everything always comes to the light. Now, it's one thing to come from a violent family, but when you come from a family doing spiritual work, things can be very, very subtly hidden. But boy, when you realize, and she had been like battling him for years, but he had acquired like a whole bunch of, like, he had a whole coven, and I took down the whole damn coven. Yeah, just to let y'all know. So, that can be very difficult. That can be extremely difficult when you're dealing with a situation like that, when you're dealing with an actual bad apple in your family. No, I'm talking about somebody doing dangerous things, conjuring spirits, conjuring death magic on you. You better believe that they will try to kill you with magic, your own family, and they'll try to use everybody else's puppets. Ain't nobody stupid over here, though. And it's usually a sexual obsession, especially when it comes from family, some sick person, maybe a grandfather or an uncle, is obsessed with you in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those women, unfortunately, very often, you guys have, a lot of the times, if you go past the age of 50, like if you suspect a family member is doing work, because people can do magic in many different ways. Y'all know people can do magic on you just simply by moving around. People don't have to necessarily go to a botanica and do this elaborate ritual. They may be working out in their garden, or they may be cooking dinner, and, they're adding intent with all of their moves, right? So, and you got to know what's on people's mind. All of it come from the mind. And sometimes when you got a sick family member, you can't judge the whole damn family. You know? So client gave me a list. Client gave me a list of people in her family specifically that she wanted to protect. This one man, her brother, decided to start doing black magic and started messing up everybody in the family. Now, the interesting thing is, guys, is that I've been stumble upon these stories about these murderers who, like Jeffrey Dahmer, like people that have committed heinous crimes, what the family actually goes through. It's very, very hard on people's family because it creates a stigmatization. And that's typically what it is. It's a stigmatization. Especially women that are witches, you have to watch the men in your family. If you're a witch, because they have the same blood as you. And you got to watch them straight up and down. You got to watch them because they'll be causing all kind of problems, messing with people's head. And really what it is that they got to experience that spiritual death to the point where they don't have those spiritual gifts no more. Okay? Some people in the family, you got to cut them off. And, people, when you cut family off, they try to do things to get back at you. Okay? Because they think you owe them something of some sort. Or either they're making up some kind of freaking delusion in their mind or something. You know what I'm saying? And, this man was doing some pretty dark magic to the point where she couldn't, like, she was having all kind of problems. She couldn't hold on to a job. She was depressed, and her husband was getting ready her husband became suicidal. One flick of a candle and a flame stopped all of it. One flick. What's up, Miss Fairy? Hey, sweetie. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. And so she's doing much better. I've been working with her for a little over a year, and she's getting better. But that's bad when you have bad family members, and typically they're doing spiritual stuff. It'd be nice if all of us people that are, I will say that certain bloodlines do have certain spiritual gifts. I will say that. And families will call to demons and stuff to try to get them on you and stuff. And see, this is one of the reasons why, especially if you come from a certain type of family, you know what I'm saying? You have to expand and broaden your mind and actually get the protection that you need. Because what it'll start off as is it'll start off as like this bondage to the point where and it's them, trust me, it's them. And they'll play crazy as hell. You contact them and say, hey, why are you doing this to me? What are you doing? I know you're doing something. What are you talking about? I love you. Fake love. Fake love. The people in your family that you can trust. Some of them you can't trust. And a lot of y'all come from family, sometimes it may have been some kind of past life thing, but a lot of times it may just have to do with somebody being very sick. Very mentally ill people, they can practice witchcraft and voodoo and hoodoo too. This man was doing a specialized type of voodoo. She said she walked into the room, her husband had a gun to his head. She said she hurried him, got rid of them damn guns. And she loves her husband. She loves him. And so she said, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? And he, put the gun down. He said, I'm sorry. And she said, that's when I decided to contact you, Jamila. I deal with demons like that all the time. They ain't no big deal to me. You can't be afraid of demonic entities like that because they will conjure them on you. They'll conjure them on you. And it just is sad as it is, don't be sad about it. Don't be sad. And those people can be binded. You be very specific about it. Basically what I did, I'll give y'all a little hint, a little tidbit. I bind you from being able to conjure spirits. And spirit will go, okay. A spirit will do it for you. I bind you from being able to, go and try to physically assault somebody. Blessed be, so mote it be. And that's it. They can't do it. They can't do it. And uh like I said, I had to do work on this dude's car because he kept, oh my God, it was a mess. And so, now the uncle is sort of in and out of the hospital with health problems because, when you, like, if you go to an entity like Lilith or somebody, Lilith is like she is like the best mother in the world. Very gentle and loving and kind. Yimi Ya, very gentle, loving, kind, and healing. They will go to the deepest, darkest depths to find the worst demon ever and conjure it. And conjure it. And that's why I always tell people, you shouldn't, like, for example, I've had mothers contact me and say, should I do a breakup work on my daughter and her? No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't do no breakup work. Don't you ever do no breakup work on your family members. That is black magic. That is baneful magic that you're doing on you don't do that. You don't do that. You do protection. You do shielding. You do healing. You do not do stuff like that. You don't do it. Okay. Listen, nobody should be going to just anybody and paying them $150 or $200 to be doing no breakup magic. You go to somebody experienced that knows how to make that thing work real fast so that everybody will be protected. Because some people will do breakup magic and the next thing you know, he done killed her or she done killed, they done killed each other. So don't just go to anybody getting no breakup work. That's some very powerful karma that will come back. When I do breakup work, my spirits is already protecting the two people that I'm breaking up. So a lot of y'all come to me about breaking your ex up with so and so, y'all. And I do protection while I'm doing that. I don't just go and say break up and hate each other. That's somebody stupid and out of control that's trying to harm somebody because those entities will attack. Okay, you call to them, they hear you. And people done been killed because of that. I believe that my little cousin was murdered because of breakup work. I believe that's why she was murdered. It was senseless. It made no sense. And I believe it was because somebody was tinkering with her life. And I think that she probably could have used more of my guidance, but she was so distant from me, you know what I'm saying? Because her man was real possessive and I wish she would have came to me because he murdered her. But what I saw was an entity that was conjured against my little cousin. Okay, that's what I saw. And like, it is sad as it is, you know what I'm saying? It's real sad. So what we've been doing is just cut them off at the head, at the third eye. You can't conjure nothing. Try to do it. Try to do it. I bet you won't be able to. Okay. Spirit will see you as a problem. You going out there nilly-willy. Okay. And y'all know I don't take money for stuff like that. If you need me to break your man up from some side chick, or you need me to, do some real professional breakup work. But some of these people, they'll go and they know how to conjure spirits. And the next thing you know, some weird, funny mirror stuff will be happening. You're like, wait a minute, this is not real. Hold on. What? Like, when you make that expression, like, what in the hell? Y'all know the what in the hell expression? That's exactly what it is. It's what in the hell. Because I felt it. I felt it when I was doing clients' work yesterday. My room was just, it had gotten icy cold in my room. And it did get cold outside. But it was weird cold. Like, it was more so like, you know what I'm saying? And so I got rid of that damn thing, okay? Because sometimes you can't just say unknown enemy. Spirit wants you to know exactly who you're dealing with, because spirit wants you to zap that person straight up and down, because that's what they need. That's what they need. Okay, and I will go toe to toe with any man any day spiritually. I'm not afraid. And a lot of these male practitioners on here know it. And they know what the what's up is, and they better be showing some respect. Some of these male spiritualists on here that be playing around with magic, whether or not it's Christian magic or either it is pagan magic or Wiccan magic. Okay, so you got to understand that whatever I can't handle, Goddess is gonna handle. Okay. So quit being afraid. A lot of y'all are literally being held hostage by the males in your family. Or you could be out there trying to make it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could be out there trying to make it in life, and you just got all this struggle, you know what I'm saying, in your life, and you like, what's going on? And that's a generational curse. And like I said, sometimes you may have a generational curse that came from the grandparents or the great grandparents, possibly. But when you have somebody in this current generation trying to curse the ones underneath them, you got to handle somebody like that. And that's what they do. They get dealt with, they get handled. And go sit down somewhere and try not to think about what you did, and don't ever do it again. Okay. Because, when you're doing stuff like that, this is when witchcraft starts to feel very unnatural and it starts to feel weird. And it ain't about them going around gossiping about you. No, no. It's about them doing actual spiritual work to where they are conjuring up spirits. Okay, I ain't talking about them just talking crazy or doing this or doing that. No, I'm talking about, you know. So y'all got to be very, very careful out here, because um, I've worked with clients to where they have sat on the phone with me and cried for an hour because they felt that their entire life was ruined because of a family member. And this was post work. This was post work when clients have came to me and cried at this person. As soon as you did the work, everything started coming through for me. And of course, the crazy family member, was trying to get at the client, contacting them, calling them every 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Or either, you know what I'm saying? And eventually that stopped, eventually. Okay. Trying to constantly contact. But yeah, the client cried, on the phone with me and said, I cannot believe, I feel like my whole life was wasted because this person that was doing work was an elder. The person, my client had gotten raped a couple of different times. Like, okay, maybe if you get raped one time, but client got raped a few times. And that's kind of strange because these spirits will cause all kind of crazy stuff to happen. And she was very, very broken when she came to me, and she said, I can't thank you enough. She said, I will never, ever, ever, leave you as my spiritualist. Me and you, we tight forever. Because she said, she had some health problems even that started clearing up. Now, does anybody think it's a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. This brother, her brother, was basically trying to make her a human sacrifice. Like, you think God is cool with that? Like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. It triggers my past life sometimes because um, no, I wasn't the best person in one of my past lives, but family is everything. You don't do your family wrong. You don't do that to family. Okay? You don't do that to family. I had given her some instructions on how to clear out her house. She didn't have no sage. I told her to go. I sat on the phone. I sat on the phone with her for hours one day. Said, go around to the gas station and get you a couple of packs of blunts or black and mouths. So she went and did that. She went back home. She lit up the black and blunt. I forget what she had. Uh, and she just started blowing that smoke. She wasn't smoking it, just blowing the smoke in the air, clearing that stuff out. Next thing you know, bam, she got another job. Next thing, because her family would do stuff like call her job and crap like that. You know what I'm saying? They find out where she worked. She had a really, really, really stalkerish type of family. And now she's living in a location. I know where she lived, and her family ain't gonna never know where she lives. Certain people, they ain't gonna know because they talk too much. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody don't believe it's real. Now, personally, I'm gonna tell you something. If it's a spiritual war that you're in, it wouldn't matter if they know where you live or not. But it's the whole thing. They was doing the whole CPS thing, and this lady was a dentist. She's one of my client is a dentist, so y'all know she making good money. She, mm-mm-mm. Had a lot of problems because of her own brother. And a lot of people, since they accept the Bible in this lifetime is gold, which, you know, a lot of people got that curse of Cain on them. So you can't even really trust your own brother these days. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a shame. It really is a shame. So, y'all just be careful with that. Okay. Y'all be careful with that, man. Just understand that, it's a very, very real thing. Um, you know, I got quite a few. Like, that ain't the only client that I got that has issues with family. And a lot of people have a problem. Uh, I've had clients that have a serious problem with even addressing it, because it's family, but quit calling them family. Those are not that's not family. That's a person that you may share blood relation with, but that person ain't no damn good. Okay. Quit letting, and you know what? I feel that, I mean, I very quickly cut off any family that was doing me like that. And they'll try all kind of crap to make you feel bad. I don't feel bad about cutting you off. Bye. All that mess and who shot John and all that stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that. Family members obsessed with who you having sex with. That's very uncomfortable. He kept coming around her trying to fight with her men and stuff. Got drunk at her wedding and acted a damn fool. Sometimes family is just sick like that. Hold on real quick, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. So I don't know. Sometimes you got to choose between that family member and having a life. I'm sorry, you know. I mean, some family members, they may have been okay when you were younger, but you know, or maybe they weren't. You know, but you know, if you know, when you have that kind of situation, you got to handle it. Okay. And it ain't gonna kill them to stop being obsessed with you. That's not gonna kill them. It ain't gonna kill them to stop being codependent on you. It's not gonna kill them. They just need to go and tend to their own lives and tend to their own business. Okay, is what they need to do instead of harassing you. Because this dude, I mean, he was absolutely nuttier than a fruitcake. It was like, wow. She had told me, she had showed me texts and correspondence between him, and I said, "Why your brother talking?" I said, "That's weird." I said that he sound like your ex, and she said he's not. You know, my ex. You know, he did molest me as a child, though, and she had forgiven him for that. But then he started to become very delusional, thinking that he was her man after she got older. And sometimes when you got sick people like that in your family, you got to cut that limb down and cut that tree and be like, no, you know, cut that limb off that tree and be like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. Will totally wreck your life. You be sitting up there wondering what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's an even bigger problem because you know, family, y'all supposed to be linked together almost like a chain, right? But if it's a bad link in that chain, that puts everybody at risk. Puts everybody at risk. You know, it does. And you can't have that. She said over the last 4 years, her husband had gotten suicidal quite a few times. He had become suicidal. And she said the difference was last year when I did work. She said he snapped out of it really fast. And he ain't been that way ever since. You know, at least once a month, her husband would get very, very suicidal. And it was typically around the full moon when he would get crazy. Okay, the moment we started binding, sometimes it takes several months to bind somebody completely. You know, depending on the will of that person, depending on how willful they are. But eventually they'll be binded. Now, if it's something that's meant to put your life in danger or something, trust me, spirit gonna bind them real quick. And you know, they may end up in the hospital. Okay, it's just the reality of it. You know, quit conjuring stuff against your own family members. See, people don't come to me to do that kind of work. They know better. People come to me to get help with family members that are bad like that, but people don't come to me to attack their family members. You know what I'm saying? I don't do stuff like that. You know, if my spirits tell me and confirm with me that you have a family member, whether or not it's your brother, your sister, your uncle, that's doing work on you, then we'll do that work on them. It's not going to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are that, I guess some people are that psychotic to where they feel like they, you know, "Oh, I have to do it." You know, maybe that person needs a short stint in the insane asylum then. Maybe they need to go get 5150 then, you know? Because eventually what's going to happen is that, you know, that you conjuring entities like that, you know, to the point where they're making somebody suicidal, uh, you know, uh, that entity is going to come back to you and collect. It's going to collect. Okay. And it may be looking for blood and bones and these deities and entities and deities, they do not respect people already that are trying to do harm to their family with any kind of magic. They are, So those people already halfway lost. But I think that if you're somebody that doesn't know, if you are very, very unaware of what's happening, okay, and you just remain ignorant, then that person can pretty much just puppeteer you and do all kind of sorcery on your life and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Um, the world is already crazy as it is, and people can already be nutty, but it doesn't help when you got stuff like that happening. Okay. So, you dealing with bad family like that, you have to choose between you and them. You do. You have to choose between you and them. And nobody's saying that you have to go to their house and do something to them. Nobody's saying that, even though, it's a lot of dysfunctional families out there that are like that. But it just takes some simple spiritual work, and then you just move on. You just don't talk to that person. You don't talk to them. You create your barrier. You make sure you do your house protection. Okay. Do your house protection, protect your car, protect everything, because they're stuck in that psychosis to where they can't focus on anything else. So all day, every day, they're just thinking about you and, trying to tap in, and, especially if you got somebody that knows how to remote view and they're constantly remote viewing you or trying to remote view you. And you just have to show, all I know is that I slay, because I know how tragic things can be and turn out when you dealing with messed up family members. Okay. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I don't have anything else to say about it. I can promise you that, their excuse of, well, I'm family, that spirit doesn't care about that. So you know what I'm saying? Like they gonna say, well, I'm family, so I think no, it's no, hun, no, no, no. That's not the way it works. You have lost your mind, and then you go and you live life. Now, I will tell y'all this before I go, that a lot of people find themselves in a constant battle. Um, and I think that it is important for you to do what you know that you have to do. But make a jar, you know what I'm saying? Make a jar so that you can, make sure that you have it sitting there, and sometimes they may go to a coven or something. Sometimes it may be, they may meet they may see somebody in the family or talk to somebody in the family that's ignorant to the situation and tell that person a bunch of lies and have a bunch of people after you and stuff. And that's considered to be a coven. And so what? You foul, you evil, and you ain't right. Okay. So y'all have a good evening. If you having family spiritual problems like that, make sure, the one thing I can tell you is know thyself. Because there are some people that are so brainwashed by their family that they can't separate themselves from them, and that's very dangerous. Okay. All right, y'all. I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Blessings.